And we're back with another episode of R&R. I'm your host, Jamerson Ballard. Happy Monday. Happy New Year. It's 2023. You know what I mean? It ain't really a brand new me, but I'm better than ever. And I'm just a little more clever, regardless of the weather. You understand? And yeah, man, we back for another season, man. It's the second one. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to give it a minute before I start spitting it and see who would want to come in and get it. But it's gonna happen whether you want it or not, whether you ready or not. Do you understand? I mean, if you don't, then can you dig it? Are you with it? Nah, but seriously, man. Um, yeah, man. It's another year, man. And me personally, I'm not really into the New Year resolution thing, man, because if it's something that needs to be done, I'm usually trying to be on that within the hour. You know what I mean? Before the sun go down. Um, you know what I mean? Because you either adapt or die. I'm not finna see something that need to change right now and wait till the beginning of next year to go after it. That's not how it works for me personally. I mean, you can do what you want to do. I mean, because this is all by choice, not force. You know what I'm saying? But it's 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 how I do things. You know what I mean? So I mean, today, man, we're gonna deal with identifying your vices. You know what I mean? Because there are some of you who have vices that you may or may not even be aware of. You know what I mean? Or we can call them coping mechanisms, if that sounds better. Because you know, me personally, I've gone through a few transitions in the last few, and I've had to let go of a couple of different coping mechanisms, and it was painful. It wasn't like an easy thing, but again, adapt or die. You know what I'm saying? Um, I was listening to a bishop who basically was saying, man, you gotta let God do His job. What kind of God would He be if He didn't write Himself in your story? You know what I mean? Now, as a man, I want to control things maybe a little bit more than I want to admit. So, you know, it was a picture in Big Mama's foster home, who was the woman who pretty much raised me through one of the most difficult periods in my life, and it read, "Let go and let God." So I was I used to get down with a few different things. I mean, all legal, by the way. It was just I was inspired by someone close to me who really didn't utilize some of those vices, I could call them, coping mechanisms, to get through difficult periods, and it was very admirable, to be honest. And I wanted to give that a shot. Now, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't something else that had transpired, um, as far as like health and things of that nature. But I mean, I look wonderful, but we're getting older, you know. What I mean? And for a lot of you young people, just keep living. But some of the things you're doing right now to make your day better or to make you feel good about what's going on might not do you a lot of good later on. And, if I'm honest about that, I mean, we just had somebody that was a factor in hip hop just passed, and her name is Gangsta Boo. R.I.P. Gangsta Boo, man. Now I'm not exactly sure what went on. They said she was found on her front porch, but it may have been an overdose on fentanyl. And if you get down with pills and things like that, you might be indulging in fentanyl without really understanding that that's what's going on. You just want to feel good right now. You know what I mean? But to live is to experience pain. I remember when I watched Braveheart, and he opted to not take any painkillers when they was about to torture him. You know, which was admirable. I think he ended up taking some later on, but when things happen, man, and you don't have certain coping mechanisms, you're forced to take life on the chin, and that's difficult. I mean, some people might stress eat, which isn't illegal, but it's, too much of anything is bad. And, you just don't want to do things that are going to cost you later on down the line, trying to cope with what's going on right now. Because, to be perfectly honest, table salt and sugar are killing more people than guns and alcohol. So what are your vices? What do you do to get through? What makes you feel better when you're having a bad day? Is it ice cream? Is it sex? Is it a cigarette? All three of those things are legal, but if you do them too much, it's going to cost you. You know what I mean? You're going to gain weight. You're going to lose some breath, which could make it a little bit difficult to move around when you get a little bit older, man. You know what I mean? Might be a little bit more to remember things if you indulge in marijuana. Memory is important. How important is it to you right now? I don't know, but later on, you can't serve up some of those things. Somebody may approach you that you've done wrong, and you don't remember that you've done this person wrong. You might not recognize them, and it costs you something that you can't pay. So, you got to kind of be mindful of what you decide to do right now, and you might not understand how it might impact you later on, but it would behoove you to be aware that it's going to cost you somewhere, and are you willing to pay the price? You know what I mean? If a person tell you, if a doctor tell you your cholesterol is out of control, your blood pressure is out of control, you need to let go of a few things and you decide that you're not going to do that, it's going to cost you. It's probably better for you to catch it before it happens, but it's to each his own. You know what I mean? To each his own. Like, first thing you want to probably do is identify what your vices are, though. To thine own self be true. You know what I mean? I'm not judging nobody. I mean, you might consider yourself a super Christian or somebody that's not a bad person because what you decide to do to pass the time or to make yourself feel better about having bad moments is perfectly legal. But where is it going to lead you down the line? You know what I mean? Are your ankles going to be extra big? Or is it harder for you to lose weight than you want to admit? I mean, is it going to take your husband or your significant other to tell you that you need to stop doing this or that? I would hope not. I would hope not. You know what I mean? But like I said, everybody has their thing. And what you see one person do, you might not be able to do that. That might not be for you. You can't handle that. You have an addictive personality, maybe. Lord forbid. You got to know you. It's your job to know you, to know your parents, to know your parents' parents, because certain things skip a generation. So let's say your grandmother drank heavily, and your mother experienced that, so she decided not to drink. You never seen your mother slouchy off drink, or couldn't remember what happened yesterday, and almost get raped. So you don't see the harm in getting extra faded. You went to school, now you grown, you can drink. You might be sneaking and doing things like that in your younger years, and you know because you never seen moms go through it like that, you think that you safe, but you're not. You're not. Some people call these things generational curses. You know what I mean? And what they did, as far as your parents did, to keep you from experiencing that, they may have cheated you in a way by not explaining to you that you have this going on in your gene pool, which is one thing I think might be wrong with adoption in a way, because you know, yeah, you don't have an irresponsible parent. That's great, but if it's never been explained to you that these things happen in your gene pool, you might not look out for that or be aware of that or even try to counter that, and then you end up falling into the same pit, because if you don't know your past, you're doomed to repeat it. Now, I really don't necessarily be wanting these episodes to be all extra deep like that. I just, I'm just ranting. You know what I mean? I'm just going through some things that I see might need to change around me, and kind of expounding on things that I've gone through in my years of life. But it's not about the amount of years in your life, but the amount of life in your years. You don't have to be 37 and decide that you want to change something. You can be 14 and decide that you don't want to do something. And you don't necessarily have to see it happening in and around you. The good thing about the Word of God is it gives you a plethora of stories where people have done things that they were supposed to do and done things the way God would have wanted them to do them. And then it also gives you examples on things that you're not supposed to do, on how things can happen to you if you don't do them the way that was maybe you were programmed to do. But that's, I'm not trying to push my belief on anybody. I was just blessed to be aware that I don't know everything, and when somebody told me something that I might not even knew well, I took it upon myself to explore that, and looked at it for myself, and seen that it was something that could either benefit me or not, but I gave it a try. He said in the Word to taste and see that it is good, and I tasted it, and I've been on it ever since. So I wasn't really necessarily raised in the church per se. You know what I mean? Like, I was actually in a family of, and this is not to squat on anybody. It was just, it was, the belief system was Jehovah's Witnesses, but I later decided for myself to become a Christian, and so I accepted Jesus Christ in my heart and let Him lead me, man, because it takes a good follower to be a good leader, man. And I ain't calling myself nobody's leader. All I'm saying is I had chose a little bit early to pick a side, knowing full well that, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna be perfect, but I really don't want to experience life without my higher power involved in my decision making. When I read Proverbs. It did something to me. It was a lady that gave me that game when I was about 16 and I was in Job Corps, and I had gotten into a scuffle with an older cat, and I probably should have got kicked out, but they decided to suspend me. But on my way out, a lady gave me that jewel, and it's changed my life drastically and changed the way I make decisions. And I'm still living off that game to this day. And you know, I'm pretty big on sharing, so I don't mind sharing that with y'all. But again, I'm not a perfect person. I've heard a guy say there is no perfect messages, only perfect messages, and so I'm just doing my part, man, to share what it is that I've learned, and I'm still learning, but it kind of made me sad to hear that somebody like Gangsta Boo passed so early, and I decided to make that a part of my message today, or a part of my rant per se, and just kind of let y'all do with that what you will, man, because it's your life. You can do what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? But just understand that what's going good for you now, what's making you happy now, might not necessarily be good for you later, or things that'll make you happy in the long run. But you have to decide for yourself how to continue to adapt and make changes that are good for you at the present moment. And hopefully, if you're smart, you'll make decisions now that'll be good for you in your future. But everybody has different upbringings. So, I don't mean to be long-winded about that. It's just, it's scary out here, man. It's scary how, you can be doing something that you thought was beneficial to you, and you're just gonna feel that way always, and you wake up one day and it's like, that's not the best thing for me anymore. So do yourself a favor, man, and keep updating your game, man, because you know I never wanted to be one of those kind of people who was like, I'm still listening to the same music I was listening to when I was in high school. I'm still trying to do the same things I was doing when I was in high school or in college, and I feel like I'm gonna feel like this forever. That's probably not the case. It's definitely not the case. The person you are in your teens is not gonna be the person you are in your 20s, and the person you are in your 20s probably not gonna be the person you are in your 30s, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? You going to age, and you might need to either speed some things up or slow some things down. But take your time, man. Nipsey said this is a marathon. This ain't no race. So you ain't gotta be in no rush. You know what I mean, to do some of the things you see other people doing, and success happens at different periods for different people, and you just keep going, man. You gotta keep going and don't quit. But yeah, it's been a few people that's passed, and it might not have had nothing to do with bad habits and things of that nature, but it's definitely uh, you know nobody's promised tomorrow, man. R.I.P. the Sinful to P. I think bro was like 39. Gangsta Pooh was 43. My nephew just lost his mom. Rest in peace to her, man. And that was a health issue. And I was trying to explain to him, that being an adult, it has its benefits, but you still have to understand that it's okay to take breaks. Sometimes knowing when to stop is more important than knowing when to go, and that's just what it is, man. But yeah, man, Uh, it's been a wonderful year so far. I ain't gonna lie, it's been kind of rough for me personally, and I've been having to take some things on the chin. But I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful that things are as well as they are, because it could definitely be worse. And it's all about attitude, man. It's all about your attitude. Um, if you having a rough time right now in the beginning, it might be one of those things where your later on will be a lot better. But it's all about your perspective, man, and keeping a positive outlook on things, because just because you see other people maybe on Instagram living a quote unquote best life, I mean, who knows what what they got going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? It ain't necessarily good for you to be wanting your life to be like somebody else's life. You just gotta live your best life, man. You know, and make the most of all your moments. You know what I mean? Uh, Live and let live. Learn to forgive, man, and forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up about things that didn't go the way you wanted them to go right away. These are the kind of things I have to tell myself. You know what I'm saying? Because everything don't happen the way you want it to happen, and that's why I was saying you gotta let God do His job, because everything does happen for a reason. You know what I mean? The person that you was with, you was thinking that was gonna be forever, but forever didn't last as long as you thought it was. He might have been taking you out, or taking God might have been taking them out of your life for a reason, and you steady holding on to them, but you're due for promotion. Why are you continually holding on to these people who don't really have your best interests at heart? You blinded because you too close to what's going on. You might have need to take a step back to see what you really dealing with, who you really dealing with, and that might have needed some things to go wrong in your life for you to understand that they was just tag-alongs. They was just there while things was going good, but when things go wrong, you can't count on them, and that's probably hurtful to hear. It was probably hurtful to go through, but you don't necessarily want to make things worse. By getting drunk as ever, and can't remember what went on yesterday, and now you didn't start developing this bad habit. Let's try to replace some of these bad habits with good habits. You know what I mean? Instead of smoking every time you get stressed out, how about you do some stretches and go do some squats or something? Go work out. You know what I mean? Listen to some hip hop, jazz, and just kind of meditating. You know, see yourself in a different space, instead of trying to use chemicals to alter your mind state. You know what I mean? Now, this is not gonna be as easy as it sounds. I'm just trying to get your mind to move in a different direction than you've been moving it in, and testifying that there is life on the other side of addiction, even. And, like I said, you might be addicted to a person, how they make you feel. But just understand, man, that you came in this world by yourself, and you're gonna die by yourself. So don't get yourself all wound up in somebody else so much that you lose sight of what's good for you. You know what I mean? Now, again, I'm not a counselor or none of that. I've lived a pretty difficult life myself, and I'm just trying to, shoot some game your way. And I hope I'm giving you something that you can use, some news that you can use. You know what I mean? It might be a few other guys who spill it a little different. And shout out to all the people that I was inspired by, brother, man. Hey, man, y'all special to me. You know what I mean? Because I took some time off, and I seen a couple cats pick it up and do some things similar to the way your boy do things. And I can only give praise due to the Most High, because it's flattering. It used to kind of annoy me, right? But just understand, man. For all of those who call themselves copycats and don't really want to give out credit, that's cool. But you won't be able to make your next move until I make mine. So I appreciate you, man. You know, for all the original people out there who doing things that they ain't seen nobody else do, or conquering their fears and handling their biz, man. Shout out to you especially, because those people are definitely gonna be successful in everything they do, man. I mean, I just hope it ain't something you don't ever experience. Also we had another brother who passed, comedian. I think his name is Boogie B. I seen him on Roast Me a few times, and he did some stand up. He was out of Louisiana, man. Bruh died violently. That was sad. I think it was some wrong place, wrong time type of jazz. And you just never know when your time is gonna come. So man, you call your mama and tell her you love her. Kiss your woman and love your kids like you might not see them again, bro. Because like I said, there ain't no guarantees out here. The only thing guaranteed is death. And I'm hoping y'all get it right with the Most High, because man, it's a cold game out here, boy. Without with a higher power like that in your corner, you can do all things, but without, it's bad, bro. I'm telling you from experience. I done seen some cats. You know what I mean? And for all of y'all that's going through things a little bit more difficult than you were going through, you like I said, you might be due for a promotion, man. I also heard another bishop say that when you getting attacked now, it might be because at first you wasn't on the right path. You was on the wrong team, and because you was the devil's favorite, you didn't go through anything. But now you might feel like you're going through some things you ain't been going through, and you might want to, give up, or you think that, God is upset with you. Oh, the contrary, man. You being challenged now because you done started thinking like, I'm about to give my life to God. I'm about to do this. I'm about to do that, and the devil might not like that. So just keep going, man, because sometimes it do get worse before it get better. But it's you got something good on the horizon, man, and that's real. Like I said, if you don't know now, you know. I mean, that's been the first episode of the second season of R&R. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off with that one, man. And I'll see y'all next week. But if you listen to this on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. If it's on Spotify, man, don't be afraid to comment. Let me know what you like, and even what you might not like, or what you feel like might need to change, or a topic that you might want me to expound on. And I'm open to suggestions. Yeah, man. Have a great day. Have a good evening. A great week. And I'll see you guys next time.